by becoming rich.
Take all your money, buy Bitcoin.
I say when we
You can
sell.
wake up every morning and say GM.
GM. So, Saturday, 17th of August, daily levels. And when you zoom out, Bitcoin is quite clearly losing its bull market trend. And, it doesn't go below the 200-day moving average very often in a bull market. Now, Bitcoin doesn't have a lot of price history to really say this, and we had a dip below in 2021. But generally, when you go below it, you spend quite a bit of time below it. And when you lose it in a bull market, it's typically the end of the bull market. So, if you go back far enough, there's no examples of it actually losing it mid-bull and then reclaiming it. And so really all you can look at is 2021. But the difference in 2021 is a couple of things. Number one, it wasn't actually a new bull or second wave. It was, for Bitcoin, it was just basically a range trade, right? Range low, 30K, to range high. And, most importantly, like I said, I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? The move was mostly led by Three Arrows, FTX, Alameda, like these entities that are gone. Bankrupt, in jail, don't exist. So, I would say, typically, if you take another market, like the S&P, for example, post-COVID, obviously COVID's a black swan, reclaims entire bull market above the 200-day. Loses it, bull market's over. Gold, which is sort of the best comparison to BTC, in bull markets, 2018 onto 2020, loses the 200-day moving average, goes into 4 years of sideways, and then breaks out. Gold closing at the highs on a weekly breakout. Super bullish for gold. Bitcoin obviously not following. And you see here, your best example is this, where it loses the 200-day in August and reclaims it in January. And then we don't actually go higher though. We don't break out until October. So that is March till October. That's 18 months between the highs, between the high and the breakout, which, again, let's look at Bitcoin and consider that it could do something similar. You're talking 18 months post-March, it's October 2025. What would happen if Bitcoin didn't break out until then? So, it's not a prediction, of course, but that's what happened with gold, right? And so it initially went down, then it came back up, but then it just spends time consolidating. And if this happened and Bitcoin looked like that, that would be literally the most bullish thing you could ever see. And just imagine, if that happened, how many people would actually stick with it? It's one of those things I keep thinking about with Bitcoin, is so many people's idea is just, we have to go, bull market in this time frame because that's what we always do. I don't think so, right? I don't think it has to. Anyway, I would say, and of course, you can look at this, right? But this does not count. That was not in a bull market. Not in a consensus bull where we hit all-time high, where we had a massive breakout. That was at a period in the market where we rallied off the lows, yeah? But people were like, I don't know, is it bullish, is it bearish? That was a recovery year. It's different. When you come off a major high, right, after a major rally, and you lose that level, it's different. So just something to consider, right? And also, a big reason as well why I say this, because it's respected it, right? We came up, touched it, reject. So the market is respecting that level, which is all the more reason to think that there's actually, some truth to it, or some value to it, or something to consider with it, right? And you look at ETH, and I mean, it's not even close. It's not even close to being bullish. And so your best case scenario for ETH is like fucking this. But that was COVID. That was a massive bear market capitulation crash. Otherwise, you're doing something like this, right? If you rally up, you lose it. But it's, June 19 to July 20. It's over a year till it reclaims and till new highs. I mean, a long time. So, and I did this on one of the altcoin request stream. Like, there's so many alts that are just, I mean, they're all, if you use 200-day moving average as like a bull market, bear market sort of indicator, everything is below it. And it's when you've been above, and you've been significantly above, and you've had a trend, and then you lose it. That's when, I mean, this is the classic trend shift, right? You spend a long time above it, you lose it, you can't reclaim, and down we go. Can't reclaim, down we go. And we reaccumulate, we go again. I mean, it's difficult to see anything other than that right now. And I think, even though there's a lot of bearishness, I still think there's a lot of cope. I still think that what I see from sentiment is, still like, okay, it's bad, but we're definitely coming back. And every day that passes, I get less and less sure about that. I get more and more of the belief that we have longer. And you know what? Probably one of the best things, like probably one of the clearest indicators, is I still see people are afraid to speak bearish. Like, if I said, which I don't think, I think bull market, bear market is stupid. All that matters is just uptrends and downtrends. But if I posted in trading analysis saying like, the bull market's over, it would be probably met with a lot of resistance. Because when I see this on Twitter, and I see somebody mentioning that, oh, like, see you in 2026, it's saying that like basically we're done for a couple of years, they are just flooded with hate. And all of this, what I'm saying, is very subjective. It's not how we trade, right? But subjective opinion is very important in the market in terms of sentiment. So you can separate the two. You trade based off your systems, but you can develop a view of the market from what you read. And I saw a post on Twitter the other day, which was like really, it actually summed it up perfectly. Someone said, like, some big account was like, so stock market's at all-time highs and gold's at all-time highs. Why is Bitcoin at 58K? And someone replied and said, because the 10 or 20 altcoin, meme coin shills in your replies to this message is why. Right? So the replies to that tweet had a bunch of fucking just, right, retail degens just shilling random meme coin tickers. And that's all it is. That's literally all it is now. It's just everything on Twitter is like, go and look at any post and look at the replies. it's fucking Mog and Moo Moo and Apu and Pepe and Whiff and fucking Bowden. And all these other ones like that I can't even think of. But it's like that's what it's devolved into. I don't think anyone's even pretending that they give a shit or that they're doing anything. Or at least in 2021, people were like yield farming. At least they were like clicking buttons. And I was just like, here's my meme. I'm gonna shill it in the replies of Twitter, because that's what they all say. All the groups is like, go and raid this tweet, and that's it. Buy some meme coin. Go to the Telegram group and raid influencers. So they'll post an influencer's tweet, raid the tweet, and means go and reply, spamming the fucking ticker, and then all of those meme coins look like dog shit. So, I mean, it's easy to be pessimistic. Like, it's easy to be pessimistic when that's the state of the market. So what I think is more important than ever is trading. And I've never been more happy to be a trader rather than just someone who has to buy and hold crypto and just hope it goes up. Because, first of all, this market is unbelievable for traders. I mean, if you're talking about day trading, it's excellent. The reason for that is what I talked about. I think I talked about a few days ago. When people haven't accepted that it's a bear market, and I don't know if it is. My point is, before people accept that it's a bear market, they'll keep buying every dip, so you get loads of really nice volatility. And it's only after many months that they realize, oh no, it's actually bearish. And that's when you get these dead phases where nothing happens for 3 months. Nothing happens for a month. Nothing happens for 2 months. So hopefully we don't get there, right? And I don't think we will, because you know what? If Bitcoin goes here, people will buy. If Bitcoin goes there, people will buy. If Bitcoin dips here, they'll buy. They'll be expecting that. They're going to buy. I honestly don't think that people would give up and quit until it went to like 30k. I think people find a reason to buy all the way down. And if you don't believe me, I remember people buying this dip and buying this dip and buying this dip. They didn't buy this dip. That was the first time they didn't buy a dip. Because we had a genuinely like lunar collapse, fucking the market just fell apart. But from November to April, every dip was bought. And the thing with this is, I try not to sound too bearish because I genuinely don't know. I have no idea. And I don't care. Like, I don't know if it's up. I don't know if it's down. I don't know if it's over. All I care about is, can we take a trade? But that was November until April, right? Which is 5 months. It's been 5 months since we topped. And that's another thing. So again, I don't want to use Bitcoin like past history too much because Bitcoin's just not been around for long. But how many times has Bitcoin in a bull market topped and went down for 5 months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it not been the end. Right? Again, Bitcoin just tends to have these. There we go. 2013 top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. There's an example. So we better get a move on. But usually, top out 5 months later, it's over for like 3 years, 2 years. Top out 5 months later, it's over. Right? Top out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the 6th month, we get a pump. But of course, it's not actually a new bull market. It's just take the highs. So, again, I mean, a lot of this, I mean, the way I see it is this, like, you've got reality, which is what I'm showing on the screen. And this coming from the biggest bull you'll ever meet. I'm so bullish Bitcoin, it hurts. But as a trader, I'm also realistic. So, when you look at it, price, which is the most important thing, is almost only saying bad things. Right? Price is just basically saying this chart is not going higher for at least 6 months. Right? Because what you're saying is it could be pull back off the highs. I've drawn that out, right? We build back up and we break out later. Which to me would look, I don't know, something like this. Roughly equal to your pullback is when you go out again, right? So you go up, 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 boom, which would be March, February, March. Okay, and to me that's best case scenario. And everything else I see currently is saying that we've topped. From price action to correlation, gold all-time highs, Bitcoin significantly down. And then people, and this is maybe one of the biggest things, it's the sentiment. It's when you say, why is Bitcoin at 59 when gold is at all-time highs, stocks are all-time highs? People are like, oh, it's Germany and Mt. Gox and the US government selling. And it's none of those things. Do you think there's not people selling gold? Do you think there's people selling stocks? Warren Buffett just sold 200 billion, worth of stocks, of which I think 80 billion or something was Apple. To put that into context, 80 billion is 5 times bigger than the entire inflows of Bitcoin ETFs, right? So in 8 months, Bitcoin has had 17 billion of net inflows into its ETFs. 5 times that was sold by Warren Buffett in Apple. That's Apple's chart. Right? Again, also, by the way, nearing the end of a multi-decade bull market. Undeniably, anyone who says this is just completely deluded if they think it's not. This is not early. This is near a top. I can't believe I even have to say that, but it is. This will not go up forever. Apple will not be the forever stock because you've had these stocks a million times. There's always been something that has been the stock that will never stop going up, and then it stops going up. And Warren Buffett sold 80 billion or whatever he sold, a massive chunk, which probably, Warren Buffett's like a 10-year time horizon, not a short-term trader. So almost certainly turns out to be right. Stanley Druckenmiller sold his Nvidia at the top. So Stanley Druckenmiller sold his Nvidia. I think George Soros as well sold Nvidia. And somebody else, can't remember who it was. Maybe Buffett? No, I don't think it was Buffett. But there's just it's annoying because I remember this in 2021. And here's the bull case, right? I remember this same kind of thing happening in early 2021. Not late. Not when it actually topped. Early 21. January, February, March. There was a lot of that selling happening. And we just kept going higher. And then it topped in November. I am not saying that everything tops out right now. What I am saying is all the signs are there that cyclical bull market's coming to an end in Nvidia. Look at it. And Bitcoin is lagging significantly. And so what I see on Twitter is most people trying to explain it as, oh, Bitcoin's just behind. It's going to catch up. I'm like, well, have you considered the other side, which is that Bitcoin is actually leading and you sell your more risky asset first and then you sell your other stuff? But I just think people aren't ready for that conversation. And no one's a bigger bull than me. I literally think Bitcoin's going to 1 million. Well, so Michael Saylor's definitely a bigger bull than me. But I think it's a time frame thing. Saylor will wait 30 years for Bitcoin to go to 1 million. I'll wait that long too. But as a trader, you can't, right? If you're talking about your long-term investments, yeah. Bitcoin is the easiest 10x of your lifetime. I am fully convinced of that. Most people will fuck it up because they won't wait 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, whatever it takes. And they want like bigger returns and more money faster. And that's why they're all in fucking Twitter replies shilling some stupid meme coin and then wondering why the market's not going up. Because everybody took their precious Bitcoin, sold it, and bought some fucking dog token. Or cat, or frog, or fucking penguin, whatever, like. I mean. So. I guess this has turned into a bearish daily levels. But, you know, I'm not here to fucking lie to you or gaslight you. These are my genuine thoughts. And I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. But I've said this for weeks, right? I've said I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love nothing more than Bitcoin to go to fucking 250k. But I remember 2021 as well, and it was the same thing. It was Bitcoin must go higher now because I want it to go higher, right? Because I have this idea, I have this idea that Bitcoin should be here at this time because I've got a fucking trend line on a long-term chart, or I've got a stock to flow model, or I've got some linear regression. And it's just like, okay, but you're ignoring reality. And until Bitcoin stops ignoring reality, which a couple of things, I would say, one, reclaim the yearly VWAP minimum, right? Reclaim this level and break out from the +1. That's how you trend again, okay? So we're trying to reclaim the VWAP, which would be good, and then break out. That's one of the long-term things I look at. Another one, 200-day moving average. Reclaim that. Don't be in the bear market territory. Then we can talk. And the fast signal, daily bands. Those are the things I'm looking at. And until that happens, just sit tight. Sit tight and wait. And that's it. GM. Now today, weekend workshop is going to be a fucking banger, talking about price behavior, understanding what these moves mean. Why does price react the way it reacts when it hits liquidity? Why does price leave behind gaps? Like, what's the logic? What's the psychology behind these gaps? Why do these gaps tend to fill? Why does a gap happen fast and then fill slow? I'm going to answer all that today on Weekend Workshop. Weekend Warrior is actually a really G name. Somebody gave it that name last week, so I'm going to call it Weekend Warrior. So join me for that later. GM.